On this day, May 16th of 2005, Kuwaiti women gained their political right after being officially endorsed by the National Assembly to amend Article 1 of the electoral law to allow them to stand as candidates and in legislative and municipal elections.
Undoubtedly, today has become a historic celebratory day in the life of Kuwaiti women as they gain their political rights to continue serving Kuwait with competence. Here's more with Sheikh Al-Tamimi.
After a long journey to gain their constitutional and political liberties, the state of Kuwait had granted female citizens their suffrage and election rights on May 16, 2005. Kuwaiti women were able to prove through a record full of achievements their leading and active role in the development process witnessed by the country in various social, economic, and political fields. The March for Women's Political Rights started decades prior to the momentous 2005 decree that allowed women to vote and run for office. Since the 1960s, Kuwaiti women have founded an array of non-governmental and charity organizations, served in important leadership positions, and assisted political parties in their campaigns and mobilizing efforts.
First of all, if we were to speak about the factors that actually led to the empowerment of Kuwaiti women, first of all, the educational aspect. The government focused on the educational aspect since 1937, so that was a very important and progressive role being in the region. The second part, we had the first group of female graduates in 1956 and the establishment of the NGOs in 1963. So actually the country realized that you can't move forward as a nation without empowering the other half. Of course, there were challenges across the way in terms of the social norms and the customs, but at the same time, the root cause of the entire thing that actually led to the awareness and the empowerment of Kuwaiti women was the education, the understanding that you need to include both genders. At the same time, it's the core belief that we are a democratic country and we believe in women's rights as a system, and not to mention the fact that it was mentioned in the Constitution.
Today's celebration highlights the role of Kuwaiti women and their social, political, and economic progress and their permanent contributions to building up the society. Currently, women make up 70% of university students and 40% of the Kuwaiti workforce and have a strong presence in all professional fields. All considered, given the high level of female literacy in the country and their growing roles in the labor market, women empowerment in Kuwait may be slow but is steadily progressing.
So if you look at the reality that we're in, where women make up 70% of graduates, they make up a large percentage of STEM field degrees, they make up a large percentage of higher education. But when you look to translate that within the workforce, we see that they only represent 40%, and even worse, in decision-making positions, they represent around 10%. So clearly, it's not a matter of qualification. It's not a matter of they're not good enough, they're not qualified enough, they don't want to take these positions, they do. So we have to look into why they're not allowed. Why are they not reaching decision-making positions? Why are they not climbing up the company's ladder? Clearly, there is a systemic issue of discrimination. There's a systemic issue of prohibiting these women from expressing themselves within their careers, and the glass ceiling is very real in Kuwait. I think it's a lot lower than many other places.
The celebration of Kuwaiti Women's Day today reflects the importance of the role of women in building their nations and their significant contributions to achieving progress, prosperity, and stability in the society. Reporting for Kuwait English News, this is Sheikh Al-Tamimi.